Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260s dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball, so I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me, so I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
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 I belong here.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And I mean, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And I mean, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Gym Rat's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
In 4 years, this could be you.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Welcome in, everybody, to John H. Young Stadium here in New Haven, Indiana, for today's NE8 clash between 2 first-place teams. New Haven Bulldogs coming in with a 5-0 record, 3-0 in conference play, hosting the Columbia City Eagles with the exact same record. Head coach for Columbia City is Brett Fox, who's in his 10th year at the school. 52 wins and 49 losses overall. Columbia City, the reigning NE8 champions, and winning a sectional last year also for the Eagles. New Haven head coach Kyle Boer, 5-11 in his 3rd year at the school, 21-35 overall in 6 years of coaching, off to his best start here at New Haven. Bulldogs are looking for their first NE8 outright title since 2016. This is a proud program, along with East Noble and Leo, that have really been atop the NE8 standings for the past 10 to 15 years. Coming off a 41-15 win against Norwell are these Bulldogs. Looking at Columbia City, big win for them, 49-17 against DeKalb. They're outscoring their opponents by 35.6 points. My name's Jeff Mahoney with Summit City Sports. We have Jake Smith from around the fort in Summit City Sports with us today, and Pat Reith on camera. And Jake, you just, NE8 football, we thought last year this would be the matchup, but this year it really seems like this matchup is solidified, with New Haven 2 weeks ago going on the road to Leo and winning it 42-41 in overtime over the Lions. The Lions last week head up to Kendallville and beat East Noble 14-7. So that's a huge road win for Jason Dorfler and crew. And looking at Columbia City, man, they have just demolished everybody on their schedule, starting with Cherubusco 49-8, Plymouth 42-14, Belmont 49-0, Huntington North 55-27, and most recently DeKalb 49-17. So they really haven't been tested this year. Whereas looking at New Haven, opening up with 6A Northrop having a down season in the SAC, then traveling to Bishop Luers and getting a very impressive 36-7 win. And that was a week after Bishop Luers went to East Noble and lost 45-7. This kind of shows you the strength of the NE8 and how it just gets better and better every single year. And to where it used to be maybe 1 or 2 teams dominant in the NE8, now you got 4 really, really good teams, and all of them atop the 4A state rankings. But this is an interesting matchup here. Columbia City under Brett Fox is getting better and better, winning an NE8 title last year. This is their first ever NE8 title, is that correct? And winning the sectional as well.
Absolutely. That was the first NE8 title for Coach Fox, as the old conference title would have been under the NHC, under the old coach. And first sectional in 22 years, I believe it was, or longer. So really big for Columbia City's program. And I think you did a really good synopsis there, Jeff, of running through the games that they've had thus far for both squads. And I agree with you that I think our overall take is that New Haven definitely has the edge tonight and the opponents that they've played. And I love to see these conferences following what the SAC is doing and getting out there and playing some stiffer competition like Snyder did with Dub C at Lawrence Central. I believe Northside played was at Lawrence North, so seeing those types of things, your Columbia Cities, your East Nobles, and your New Haven's going out and doing some of those similar things, and it's really priming these teams for deep runs and sectional play. So I think that's going to be on display here tonight. It should be a really good matchup, and really excited to be here with you, buddy.
Oh, absolutely, Jake. And, Leo opening up the season at Kokomo and losing a tough one there to the Wildcats. Kokomo, 16-14, and Leo really felt like they outplayed Kokomo. Of course, the Wildcats last year losing in semi-state. A lot of people believe that they're a shoo-in to get to the state championship game. They're sitting at number 2 in the 4A rankings. East Central sitting at 5A. They'll be coming out of the southern part of the state. But Columbia City in the coaches poll, and I always side with the coaches poll, comes in at number 7, and New Haven at number 11. Do you feel like those rankings are still kind of based off the success of both teams from a year ago?
You nailed it, Jeff. Absolutely. When you go down through and look at strength of schedule to start, and nothing against the Columbia City Eagles, it's just the way that the schedule has constructed itself through time. They can't help who's winning or losing, but they are front-loaded with an easier schedule versus what New Haven has seen. So they are definitely basing some things off of your conference and sectional champion from last year, and deservedly so. I think there's something to be said about that. But for me, in my opinion, and obviously being a Homer Eagle fan, I think that if it was me making that poll, that New Haven would have the edge by a place or two.
Well, talk about that then. Being a Columbia City, you're part of the system, coaching at Indian Springs Middle School, a 7th grade coach. You guys took the city championship a year ago, only gave up 1 touchdown all year.
I believe it was only 1 or 2 touchdowns. That was a great season for us.
But I love, when I'm looking over here at Coach Fox's squad here, and you look at Noah McDevitt, and you feel like, we kind of saw it last year with the middle linebacker at Columbia City, but Noah McDevitt really feels like kind of the heart of this team, a senior that leads the team in tackles with 35 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, goes 5'9", 195 pounds, and you had his younger brother, Gabe, who's a freshman on the team and will dress tonight.
Yes, so Gabe actually got injured in their last freshman game, unfortunately. I think it was his fibia and tibia that got cracked up, but he'll be back next season. But I love your point about Noah. The interesting thing there is this team, I don't want to compare them in size and stature to Snyder, but the way that Coach Fox has found a gutty group of guys to buy in. It started last year with Jackson Geiger, who may come up here and meet you in the booth a little later, a defensive end for us last season. And now McDivitt's the same way. These are system guys that really didn't get an opportunity to shine until their senior year. But when their time has come, they're ready for the challenge. It really reminds me of, building something similar to what Snyder's done in tradition and what Coach Fox is trying to do.
Well, along those lines, last year Columbia City graduated a lot of offensive linemen. They come in averaging 223 a man, going up against a huge New Haven offensive line averaging 258 pounds, led by Mason Noak, who's made a huge name for himself throughout this program, but really this year just road grading teams, and we saw it a lot in week number 1 against Northrop, but every single time you see a Trey Bates big run or you see a big run from Donovan Williams, Mason Noak is there leading the way. What do you feel about this young offensive line, the smaller offensive line of Columbia City?
Well, you nailed it. Last year, the difference in size was made up by skill with 4 of those players, I believe, 3 or 4 of those players being seniors on that line. And now you're going against Mason Noak, a.k.a. the Biscuit, coolest nickname of all time. Just that entire offensive line unit for New Haven are monsters. When you look at McGrant, you look at Noak, you look at Whitcliffe, like they are just big-body dudes, and being able to call a couple New Haven games this year, really seeing their athleticism. I know Coach Boer loves seeing that. That is, to me, the telltale of this game. Above everything else, we can talk about all the other stuff later, but when you look in the trenches, you really, really have to give the edge to New Haven here, and it's going to take some gutty performances by these Eagles tonight to match that.
Well, looking at Northeast Indiana, really the state of Indiana, you have two of the better wide receivers being showcased with Mylan Graham, the 6'2", 180-pound senior from New Haven, committed to Ohio State, the Ohio State University for the Bulldogs. Johnny Washington transferred over from Concordia this year. He goes 6'1", 180 pounds. These guys, on average, together, are averaging 14.7 yards per reception, which is just outstanding for the two main targets for Donovan Williams. And I've been screaming Donovan Williams' name all season long, ever since week one. I feel like he's come into his senior season in the best shape of his life, and he is a man, make no mistake about it, at 6'1", 210 pounds. Entering today, he's averaging 6 yards per carry. At one point this season, in week number 3, he was averaging over 10 yards per carry, but he's also completing 71% of his passes. And it's not like he's passing it just 12 times. He comes into today completing 70 of 98 for 969 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 INTs. You know, when you look at Donovan Williams, his progression from his sophomore year when he was a starter at Northside to where he is now, what are you seeing from Donovan Williams?
His development, you nailed it, Jeff. His development over these last 2 seasons, being able to really watch a lot of games and a lot of film with him. The kid is an absolute unit. In my opinion, best quarterback in the NE8, and arguably you could say one of the better quarterbacks in Northeast Indiana. He's got the size and the stature for it, but what I love for him is his pre-snap reads are everything. He runs a heck of a play fake, but you'll see tonight they run an RPO slant that even when you know it's coming, he's so quick off the ball to throw it in the perfect placement. And then, aside from that, you look at the short pass game, the quick game, he can do it. You look at the long pass game, when the eyes come off of Mylan and now a Johnny gets to run free in one-on-one coverage, so he put the 2 over the top on Mylan, he can put the ball on the money and let his guys go run those go routes and get them. And then he's smart enough to go through his reads to find a guy like James Hardy. I mean, on top of that, he can move the ball with his legs, so he's a true dual threat and just a phenomenal specimen to watch on the field.
You know, and talk about, you know, his ability with that read option to pull up right before the line of scrimmage and do a little swing pass out to Mylan Graham like we saw with that first touchdown against Leo. I mean, that's something right there where that defensive front seven, that safety, you have got to come up and you got to pay attention to Donovan Williams, which just leaves Mylan Graham maybe one-on-one with a cornerback on an island.
You're right. And the only thing I've been critical about New Haven football this year, you know, they've been playing true three-phase football. One criticism that I've given them all year long is they get in the red zone inside the 10, or they're on the goal line and they're still in pistol or shotgun. I'm going, man, get under center and just sneak him. Well, I should probably shut my mouth because every time they go down there, it works for them. And that RPO slant, if the defense takes it away, then the quarterback, Donovan Williams, just runs right in that evacuated area, in that vacated area, and runs it in. So they know what they're doing. They're a high, potent offense, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Mylan Graham entering today, 6 touchdowns receiving, 4 for Johnny Washington. James Hardy, 2 touchdowns, both of those coming last week. He had 4 receptions for 102 yards with those 2 scores for James Hardy the fourth. Also a standout outside backer here for the New Haven Bulldogs. Looking at Columbia City, how about Stratton Fuller? You know, it seems like every single time he catches a ball, it's for a touchdown, just like Chris Carter in the NFL used to do. But 12 receptions, 246 yards, averaging 20.5 yards per reception. So you're actually looking at 6 yards better per reception than the 2 New Haven wide receivers, and 7 touchdowns. 12 receptions, 7 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive.
That's a pretty high percentage. And he's truly, in my opinion, one of the best route runners in the junior class right now that I've seen. He can run everything that's in the book. He's quick feet. He's got a great buzz motion with his feet if he's coming back on a hitch or a hitch and go. He's got a double move. He can get vertical down the field. So it's really pretty incredible to think that you've got Mylan Graham, Power 5 Division I player out here, and Johnny Washington probably close behind him in a we'll probably start seeing some MAC offers, and then Stratton, obviously, as he's offered by Eastern Michigan, Duke, West Virginia, Indiana showing him some love. These are some really, really high skill position athletes that are going to be out here.
Folks, we're going to take a break here for our national anthem. We'll be right back with more high school football here on Summit City Sports. Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com. Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcast. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
In 1952, my father, Jim Kelly, opened his first dealership. Thanks to loyal customers, dedicated employees, community support, and a bit of luck, his business grew. 70 years later, that dealership has become the Kelly Automotive Group, with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall. Thank you for 70 amazing years. It's been the ride of a lifetime. We hope you join us for the next 70.
Welcome back, everybody, to John H. Young Stadium for today's big NE8 clash. I'm Jeff Mahoney along with Jake Smith, Pat Reith on camera. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's conference clash. This is a conference here where Leo pretty much stayed alive in the conference race, getting the win at East Noble a week ago. Obviously, the Lions losing a conference matchup 2 weeks ago to New Haven. So it's really interesting how things are going to play out here. But, man, Columbia City, they're here at New Haven. They host East Noble. Then they're traveling at Leo. So of the 4 top teams in the NE8, you can certainly say that Columbia City has the toughest stretch to a second straight conference championship, having to face the 3 powerhouses all in a row.
You're absolutely right about that, Jeff. And the one thing that Coach Fox made a mention of last year, and I think does play into their favor, for health reasons, this could keep them a little fresher. If they're able to put in their 2s and 3s, at halftime with a running clock in some of these games, that can work for or against you. Maybe against you if you're not getting your guys as many touches and looks as you would want, but maybe for you in the fact of keeping some of these guys, especially with a hard-nosed rushing attack like this, a little fresher going into these later games. So it seemed to work out for them pretty well last season, and I think tonight is kind of that caveat, as you mentioned.
And that's kind of an interesting thing because under Coach Fox and, they got the brand new school over there, brand new facilities. Things are really popping over in Columbia City. But is that something that they're going to want to address, is to maybe schedule some tougher opponents out of conference?
I think you nailed it, Jeff. And I've heard some rumors, nothing confirmed. Obviously, I'm not that high up the totem pole, but I think you'll see them maybe mix up, maybe taking out that Plymouth game for another team, or maybe getting out of Busco at some point. Just, how could they get another, bigger name, bigger, power school in there to give us a little bit fresher look? I think I could see that happening in the next few years.
Boy, you feel like you can't get rid of the Busco game, but this series goes back to 1946 in the old NEIAC. And New Haven leads the all-time series 48-31. Last time Columbia City's won here at John H. Young Stadium was in 2014 during their run for a sectional championship game, or to a sectional championship game. And Columbia City has not beaten New Haven in consecutive seasons since 1995. And obviously last year the Eagles put a hurting here on the Bulldogs. They converted 3 onside kicks in that game. And honestly, New Haven was shorthanded. They were missing a bunch of guys due to injury. But I got to believe that's something that's weighing heavy on these seniors' mind. And this New Haven team might have one of the tightest senior classes in Northern Indiana.
You're absolutely right. You know, the good teams that can win a sectional or make a run or win a conference title, all coaches will say the same thing, and they are looking for that commonality, brotherhood, and buy-in that they get from those players. And Coach Mullen on the New Haven side, and I had a chance to speak through Messenger this week, and he mentioned that, how strong of a bond these kids have in comparison to years past. There's a lot of buy-in here, and when you start the season off like both these squads have 5-0, you've got a lot to buy in for, and playing for your brothers and for playing for each other. So I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Well, I'm telling you what, if the Ohio State fans are out there, I was out of practice here at New Haven 2 weeks ago, and Mylan Graham, not only is he super fast and shifty, but, man, is he a leader and a coach on the field. And the captains are heading to the middle of the field. And we have number 2, Trey Bates, number 5, Chris Stewart, number 62 for New Haven is Mason Noak, and 72 is Charles McGrant. We'll pull up the seniors for Columbia City here in a second. But like Jake said earlier in this broadcast, Donovan Williams, also a coach on the field. They give him a lot of responsibilities, one of those being if he sees the right defensive formation, he has the ability to check to the play that he needs to. And Coach Boer says more times than not, Donovan Williams is checking to the perfect play.
Yeah, just what a guy to be able to read and react the way that he does on the field. And I think you'll see that tonight. It's going to be very, very critical for these Eagle defenders to be cognizant of him at all times.
So New Haven wins the toss. They defer. So Columbia City will receive to start this game. Number 51 for the Eagles and number 63. Oh, shoot, you got a...
Joel Yeager.
Is there an extra purple one down there? I don't think. I thought the rosters were going to be one on the back of the other. That's his. Well, Jake, you take over, and I'll run and go grab a roster.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, it looks like both sides are getting fired up here. You know, this is my third or fourth time being out here to New Haven, and, man, I love being up in this press box. Kind of reminds me of the time that I've had over the last couple of years with the Leo fans, and just really getting to know some of these folks. I've got a great radio crew down here, and actually sitting to my left is a Columbia City fan favorite, the legend himself, AT, Andy Thompson from 91.5 WJHS Radio. So I'm sure Eagle fans will be bouncing back and forth between the Summit City broadcast and theirs, and another legend down here from Warsaw football. So there's a lot of old school, long tenured media guys up in the booth tonight, and hoping we're going to see a great game to call.
Back deep to return it for Columbia City. You got Stratton Fuller, who's wearing number 43, along with James Getz. Getz with 6 kickoff returns on the season for 125 yards, averaging 20.8 yards per return with a long of 86, which he took to the house. And kicking it off here for New Haven is Domingo Flores, 5'6", 150 pounds. 0 touchbacks on the season. It is off. That'll be fielded by Fuller at the 13-yard line up to the middle of the field, looking for a seam. That'll be collapsed quickly by the Bulldogs, making the tackle number 22, Corin Harris, star linebacker for the Bulldogs. Harris entering today with a team-high 42 tackles.
Yeah, Harris is an absolute stud. He's one of those players that as you watch this game, you watch how he flows to the football. He has a nose for the ball, as people like to say. His read-react at backer is nasty. Usually he's in the will position, but he can really scrape down and make some guys pay.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line out of the flex bone. Running back here for Columbia City is Schroff, Caden Schroff, a senior. Bradbury hands it off. And kicking it out wide is number 24 for Columbia City. That's Noah Pletcher.
And right there, way to stretch that play out. And when you look at James Hardy, the fourth, he scrapes down and he runs that entire line of scrimmage and makes that play stretch down, and he makes the tackle.
Brings up 2nd down and 6. Grayson Bradbury, a junior quarterback, 6'1", and quick hitting play as the defensive line's able to hold up tight to gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Now, if Columbia City watched film, and obviously they did, all good coaches and staffs do, they should have watched the Norwell tape, and I'll explain why in a second.
So quick to the line here on 3rd down and 2. And it looks like we might have a false start. Offside's actually going to be called against New Haven, so that'll be a 1st down for the Eagles.
Ouch. It's a tough penalty there. But to my point about the Norwell tape, one thing Norwell was able to do pretty much roughshod for about 2.5 quarters against this New Haven front was they could run between those ends and that big nose tackle. And so those are the gaps you're going to be wanting to look into is those 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, right inside. And we'll see if the Eagles can expose that tonight.
Yeah, and you see right now your nose tackle is number 34, Alex Hoffer. As the handoff goes to gets up the gut, 3 yards, and looking to move the pile, get some help from his friends all the way to the 49-yard line. A good, tough run of about 8 yards for Getz.
Yep, and that's if Columbia City wants to stay in this game and really have a chance here, is just really get that good tempo that they have, grind some clock off, do what they do best, and nasty plays like that in the trenches and pound it in for your running back's a good way to start.
Boy, James Getz picking up right where he left off after a fantastic junior season from a year ago. 2nd down and 3. Bradbury gets his balance, and that's James Hardy. And, boy, we've talked about that time and time again, the length of James Hardy at 6'4" there. Gets his right paw on it, bats that pass down.
I don't know that he gets enough credit for his football IQ. It is really incredible how he knows how to put his body, and he follows the line down and really closes any gap that he goes into.
So it brings up 3rd down and 3 after the incomplete pass. Bradbury gives it to Getz, the second man, and he is thrown down short of a 1st down. With the tackle is Malik Farrow.
Yeah, Farrow really came down and cleaned that thing up. And tough call here for the Eagles. You think that they're going to go on a 4th and short?
4th and short from the New Haven 49-yard line. Farrow entering today with 2 tackles for a loss and 17 tackles. Had a pick 6 in the opening game against Northrop. On 4th and 1.
Neutral zone.
Wow, looks like they were able to draw off. Was that Mason Noak?
Wow. Now, I know New Haven's really hungry on the D-line, and they want to get in there and get nasty and get these tackles cleaned up, and I get it, but they've got to keep their composure a little bit. They're really encroaching up to that line, and Eagles were able to call them off for a 2nd time there.
Yeah, just a neutral zone infraction there, as you can see. So a fresh set of downs here on 1st and 10. 9:34 left to play in the 1st quarter. Ball at the 44. Bradbury averaging 9.7 yards per carry. Going to go to the air here on 1st down. Looking for Fuller.
Oh,
wow,
man.
A circus catch right there. Nearly coming up with it was the junior Stratton Fuller. And I'll tell you what, Jake, we've seen him make that play time and time again.
Yep, that was a great hand battle out there, and credit to the defensive back to get some hands in there, but Fuller got the distance that he wanted, but it was just throwing a little bit, sailed over his left shoulder there as he turned around to make the play, and unfortunately couldn't look it in.
Bradbury's completed 18 of 31 passes for 476 yards, a 58% completion percentage entering today. Handoff and nowhere to go. That's getting stuffed at the line there was Pletcher. Pletcher goes 5'9", 175.
And that's the type of stuff you've got to do in the trenches is really stretch down and kind of reach, get past those reach blocks that Columbia City's doing when they take that angled step to lead, when they run a counter play or they run a stretch play to the outside. And great job, credit to New Haven's defense for closing that one down.
Hoffer with the tackle, number 34. Bradbury going to the air again. Look at that ball thrown right away. And that was a timing pattern right there. The ball was out of the hands, and we got a flag on the play. Is that going to be a personal foul? Late hit against New Haven?
Man, I hope not, because they've got to keep their composure here. This would be 3 major penalties.
Sure was.
Unreal. Now, we have talked about how New Haven has played 3-phase football this year, and that's one thing that you can't have. We've seen it with some other teams in the area. You've got to keep your composure, keep that good sportsmanship. I know you're fired up, but you're just costing your team down in distance yardage every time something like that happens.
And that was Connor Clark, who's had a great season, 5'9", 185, entering today with 31 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and a forced fumble. First and 10 now from the Bulldog 29-yard line. Handoff goes to Strofe. Strofe, he'll be stopped right around the 24-yard line, gain of about 6 on the play.
And if you're Columbia City right now, you're loving this. You've got a sustained drive, already taking almost 4 minutes off the clock to start this matchup. And that's what you want to do. You want to limit the possessions that this high-scoring offense from New Haven can do with their great wide receivers and quarterbacks. And here they are on a great sustained drive.
8:16 left to play here in the opening frame. 2nd down and 4 for the Eagles. Strofe once again, this time met, drug down about the 19-yard line. That's going to be real close to a first down.
Like they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Same play again, and we'll see what kind of power football they pull up here on 3rd and short.
Corin Harris with the tackle. 42 tackles entering today, 6 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 1 INT, and 1 forced fumble. So Pletcher back to the right wing position as Bradbury looks to the sideline for the new play. Here on 3rd down and very short. Handoff goes to the up man, who's hit right away. Busting that play up is Chris Stewart.
Tried to add a little confusion there and run a similar play as the last 2 concepts, and New Haven was ready for that for it that time.
Yeah, I knew Chris Stewart. If New Haven's going to be successful in this game, it's going to start with Chris Stewart, the middle backer for the Bulldogs.
He is an absolute unit, Jeff. At 6'1", 210, he is built like a chimney.
He's an animal. 4th down and 2 after the loss of a yard on the play. Bradbury rolling to his right, has a man, and that'll be a first down for the Eagles. And it looks like the forward of progress got him the first down by Stratton Fuller. Sometimes when you get driven back and you try to make a football move, they'll negate the yards, but I think that's going to be a first down.
Yeah, great way to move the sticks there. And that's one of the – I don't think people understand how tough it is to run simple flat routes like that. You're almost catching backside, and to be able to turn that up and get the first, I mean, this is a dream come true drive so far for the Eagles.
Looks like in the Northside Lures game, you got back-to-back kickoff returns for a touchdown.
Holy smokes.
1st and 10 from the 17. They'll give it to Strofe. He's hit right away and gets out of the tackle. It's going to be cleaned up by Trey Bates. Getting to him first was number 62 for the Bulldogs. That's Mason Noak.
The big biscuit, Mason Noak, man. He's going to be all over this field in the trenches all night. And look at the speed on a busted play right there to still run that down backside by New Haven.
That's Trey Bates, also the starting running back in this game. Bradbury gives it off, and Stewart once again with the big hit in the backfield on Pletcher.
Man, and so kudos to Stewart right there, as he's seen that counter-type action a couple of times now, and instead of getting sucked into the line of scrimmage this time, he takes a read step, cuts it back, and absolutely murdered that play.
Here with this 3-man front, Stewart is almost your 4th defensive lineman there, shooting the gap, making a play in the backfield. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from the New Haven 17-yard line. They'll hand it off to Getz. Getz has a lead blocker. Cuts it inside, makes the first man miss, but Stewart once again wraps him up, taken down at the 14-yard line, a gain of 3 on the play.
Yeah, I love the play call there, and Getz is a high motor to get to the edge, but again, James Hardy scraping down the line, stretching out the play so those safeties and corners can come in and clean it up, and here we go. What can the Eagles do here on 4th down?
Here on the Traction AP replay, Getz has a lead blocker right there. Good job of shooting in and making him cut it inside. That was Calvin Dobson. Dobson, who's been phenomenal early on this season for the Bulldogs.
You know, I've seen him plug him in a lot of places, and he's only a sophomore, if I'm correct. And, man, he's a high-motor kid, very fast to the football, great in coverage as well.
And timeout going to be taken by Columbia City. And we'll take a look at some of the sponsors that make this game possible here at Summit City Sports. Folks, Big Eye Fish. And we'll be back to those. But, yeah, what a big play there, Jake. We've seen a few from Chris Stewart in this game, somebody that I felt like was going to be a key player for the Bulldogs.
Yep, you nailed it, and you've been such a big proponent, obviously being an ex-linebacker yourself, of some of these backers that they've got. And, when you talk about a guy like Chris Stewart, it's such a great mix when you've got a big monster like a Chris Stewart and then close behind him but a little quicker and a Corin Harris. And you get such a good 1-2 punch of being able to be a gap sound backer, kind of that old-school Mike-style linebacker, and then somebody that's more of a will, and they can really, really stretch the play out like they've done so far in this game.
Yeah, I absolutely love the trio of linebackers here with Corin Harris, James Hardy, and Chris Stewart. Do an absolute great job. Malik Farrow, cornerback on the bottom of your screen. Alex Hoffer at the safety position. Saw him at nose tackle moments ago. 4th down and 6. Bradbury looking for the end zone. Double coverage. And no flag on the play as pass was intended to Stratton Fuller.
Yep, they've taken notice here, this New Haven defense, and on the back end, they're not going to give him a free ball to just go out there and catch an uncontested touchdown. So they send 2 guys on him and just jam the living snot out of Fuller. And, man, that was definitely arguable on some contact, but they end up shutting it down. Nice defensive stand here for the Bulldogs.
Dobson once again on the coverage. So trips up top for the New Haven Bulldogs. Their first offensive possession of the game comes with 4:43 left to play in the first. 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. That's Mylan Graham in motion. Keeping himself is Donovan Williams. Cuts it inside using the block there by a Johnny Washington. Gain of about 8 yards on the play. Will bring up 2nd down and 2.
Man, great job by Fuller to come out there and get wide to force Graham to turn that play in, because he was a step away from taking that thing to a house call. So, and you see the electricity of the Ohio State commit right off the bat.
Donovan Williams entering today, 10 carries. Entering today with 3 rushing touchdowns. Brings up 2nd down and 2. From their own 20-yard line. Williams, once again, debates. Runs right in the back of his offensive lineman. Going to be a short gain of about 2 yards.
That's a big stop for the Eagles right there. They're really showing some grittiness and toughness down there on the defensive line. And Landon Tim is a big body that's been a name in the Columbia City area for a long time. So nice to get him in there and really clog up those rushing lanes. 3rd and short here.
Joel Yeager and Gavin Peccano. I'm saying that one wrong.
It's all right, Jeff.
3rd down and 1 from their own 22-yard line. Out of the pistol. Bates lined up right behind Williams. Donovan looking to his right, and he's going to lunge forward, be close, but it looks like he's going to be just short of a 1st down.
Man, and a great defensive stand right there for the Eagles, but it just shows how big of a body Donovan is to be able to move the chains there.
So Williams picks up the 1st, and coming into the game will be Chris Stewart. Johnny Washington on the bottom of your screen. Tight end on the right side is James Hardy with Stewart on his hip. Mylan Graham up top, 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. Pistol alignment. Williams fakes the handoff, looking for Graham. Goes to Washington on the opposite end, just off his fingertips. What a beautifully designed play there. 2 men in coverage. But, man, Washington was open, Jake Smith.
Yep, they sent Landon Fazio had to go run that thing down, and that was a great ball. Washington would probably love to have a second chance at that, but the Eagles defense gets away with one there, and now we're 2nd and long.
See, they had him bracketed just through the fingertips of Washington. We'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. 2:42 left to play in the opening frame. Williams going to hand it off to Bates.
Stretched him out.
Makes the first guy miss. And there right away for Columbia City was number 59, Joseph Arnold, a sophomore at 6'1", 200.
Goodness sakes, and Gavin Smith runs in to rally to the football to clean it up. That was a great team tackle right there and kind of asserting dominance on that line.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 for the Bulldogs. Trips up top. cornerback number 22, Ian Stahl, at the top of your screen. Williams looking to his left, going to take off and run over the 25, lunges forward to about the 32-yard line. Gain of 10 yards on the play, but will be shy of the first down.
Wow, nice design quarterback run there. He just looked right up that tunnel and took off, and nice job by the Eagles to keep that ball short.
We were talking a lot about Michael White yesterday and around the fort. White has perfected that one right there, where you drop back, pocket forms around you, see all that green in the middle, and you take off. So a lot of running for Donovan Williams early on in this game. Back to punt it will be Mylan Graham. Graham, a great punter, 13 under his belt for 545 yards, averaging 41.9 yards per punt. Look at that boomer.
Nice kick. And he's so dangerous, you never know if he's going to run or not.
Down at the 28-yard line. A punt of 40 yards. Yeah, what a weapon to have back there as a punter.
And you got to love this if you're Columbia City. You just went out, had a sustained drive, got down into the red zone, stalled out, but didn't give the football away. And now you just held New Haven. You've owned time of possession so far. You've moved the ball more yardage overall. That's a great place to be in for a young Eagles team. And New Haven's got to get rid of the penalties, and we got a ball game here.
Time of possession about 8 minutes to 3 minutes right now, with 1:04 left to play in the first. First and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Stewart showing blitz, handed off this time to Stratton Fuller, and it's James Hardy in the backfield with a tackle for loss.
Man, I love the play call there, but unfortunately their timing was slightly off. They almost got another encroachment, neutral zone infraction on that, and went ahead and snapped the ball. And just got congested up right there, and Fuller gets shut down.
Bring up second down and 11 after the loss of one. Bradbury hands it off to Schroff, who has a full head of steam ahead of him to the 35-yard line. Big gain of 6 yards for the big running back. Looking at Caden Schroff, a senior, 5'10", 195, averaging 7.9 yards per carry and 89.6 yards per game with 9 touchdowns.
Oh, no.
Fumble.
Ball on the deck, and New Haven has it.
They sure do. Looks like that's going to be picked up by big number 55.
And those are the types of things right there that are game changers. You're right inside of your opposition 40-yard line now, and they're driving in on their own side. It was a little bit of missed timing there, as it looked like the handoff was about 1.5 yards behind the running back, so whoever's fault that is, they'll sort that out in practice. But right now, long story short, New Haven football.
That's your guy Travis Lipscomb coming up with it, number 55 for the Bulldogs. So the first turnover of the game goes against, and it doesn't look like that was Travis, but we'll come back with that number. 15.9 seconds remaining. Handoff goes to Graham. Graham trying to get past the defender, but a nice shoestring tackle by number 7, Cohen Payne.
And that's all the Eagles can do in those moments, is get a guy in front of him and get him down to the turf, because he's so electric and quick. A step away and he's gone.
Folks, that's going to do it for the first quarter. You're watching Indiana High School football here on Summit City Sports. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute.
Sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Welcome back, everybody. Bishop Luers field goals. They go up 10-6 early on. against Northside. Over here at John Young Stadium after one quarter, it's 0-0. New Haven with the ball, 2nd and 1. After picking up the first turnover of the game, a fumble by the Eagles.
A little bit of a defensive start. I'm a little surprised by this. Both sides feeling each other out, Jeff.
Empty backfield. Williams out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers up top. Mylan Graham going to join him in the backfield out of the pistol. Donovan hits him on the swing pass. And good job by Cohen, but that's going to be a tackle. It's going to be a horse collar.
A great job to rally to the football there by the Eagles, but yeah, a couple too many hands in there, and one happened to go into the back of the shirt collar there of the Ohio State commit.
Check it out one more time as Payne did a good job of staying with the speedy Mylan Graham. And that's what Graham does that's so good, is that little stutter, but that's going to get the Bulldogs inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal from about the 8.5-yard line. Trey Bates back in the game, lined up directly behind Williams out of the pistol. Chris Stewart on the wing. And handoff goes to Bates. Beautiful cut as he scores from 9 yards out. Trey Bates and the Bulldogs go on top after the 9-yard touchdown dance.
They show that they're going to wham down on the right-hand side with some big bodies, but just boom, pistol inside zone. And when you got a guy like Trey Bates with that great field vision and explosive first step, off to the races quickly, 9 yards to the house.
So in to attempt the extra point, Domingo Flores, the senior, hitting 19 of 20 PATs entering today's game. Mylan Graham with the hold. Jake talked about how dangerous Graham can be as a punter in a fake situation. That kick was a little bit low, right off the offensive line's back and no good. So the score will remain at 6 here for New Haven. But Graham, a holder, if they ever do a fake, he's the man.
Yeah, definitely quick enough to do it, Jeff. You nailed it there. But, man, what a great start to this game. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they put one on the deck, and those are the types of things in a close matchup like this that you cannot have happen. So New Haven makes the first couple of mistakes and a couple of penalties, gets the Eagles down to the scoring range, but they can't convert. Eagles start to move the ball again and fumble, and New Haven capitalizes. So here we are. How do the Eagles respond now?
.11:41 left here in the second quarter. Trey Bates picking up his 13th rushing touchdown of the season. Donovan Williams, Mylan Graham certainly vying for NE8 Player of the Year, Northeast Indiana Player of the Year, but you can make a strong argument for Trey Bates, who's a two-way player and a kick returner.
Absolutely right. He's a great back for them.
Bates with an interception return for a touchdown on the season. Returns it over the 20, over the 30, looking to cut back. Breaks it out wide, has a man to beat and does. Over the 50, he'll be tackled down at the 45. What a tough run by James Getz.
Yeah, I think he ran out of gas there about midfield and decided to cut it back in. If he'd had a little bit more energy left, he probably could have stretched him out. But what a great momentum shift for the Eagles here to start it right at beyond midfield. Exactly what they needed to thwart the opposing touchdown from the Bulldogs.
Getz averaging 21 yards per return entering today. Shows you why this is against an aggressive, tough kickoff team by the Bulldogs. So it brings up 1st down and 10 from the New Haven 45-yard line. Schroff lined up behind Bradbury, takes the handoff. See Hoffer got blown up there by the offensive tackle. That was number 53 for Columbia City, Landon Tim.
Landon Tim is an absolute unit. We like to talk about that county ball, and he's one of those guys, as Joe Wolburn would say, a sheepdog out there. Big beast, lays him on his can.
Brings up 2nd down and 9. Love to show the folks that play again as Hoffer was in the backfield. Looked like he was ready to make a play. Bradbury puts it on the turf, picks it up, and looks like he might have gained a yard. We're going to take you to the play before. Once again, Hoffer lined up at nose, just gets pushed away. So it brings up 3rd down and 6. Good job. Good recovery there by Bradbury.
Man, a heads-up play for him for sure. I mean, 2 on the deck, and that would just be a horrible start for the Eagles, and hopefully they can get their concentration back on this one.
3rd and 6 with 10:29 left to play here in the second quarter. Bradbury has a man. It's Stratton Fuller, and hanging on for dear life. Look at Fuller. Tough 7 yards after the catch. That was number 19 with the coverage, Dobson.
That right there is the type of film you're going to seal up and send in an overnight envelope to Duke because, I mean, a contested ball and just takes the team on his back for the first down to move the chains, and that's what winners do.
It's like they got Dobson manned up there on Fuller. Good handoff to Getz. Hurdles over the first tackler, going to be pushed out of bounds by Bates right around the 11-yard line.
Man, what an athletic play right there. And the thing you love about Getz's vision is how he follows his blockers, but right there, his blocker took the cut step to go to the second guy, and he had to make a decision, stretch the play out, and he jumps right there and works to his favor, and the Eagles are in business here again.
Great athletic play there by Getz. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Bradbury off to Schroff. He's hit right away and drugged down. It's like a gain of about a yard and a half on the play. Coming off the pile. Looks like it's number 66, Connor Clark.
Connor Clark getting in there, and my man Travis Lipscomb, probably one of the most underrated trench monsters in Northeast Indiana, and they're getting him involved. I love to see it.
Brings up 2nd down and 7 with 9:38 and counting. Handoff goes to Pletcher. Pletcher looking to cut it up. And a beautiful tackle in space by Dobson.
That right there is just textbook. And for a sophomore to scrape down and take that stretch of the way, take the stretch away from the play and step down with a perfect wrap-up tackle, man, that is some upperclassman type material right there for the sophomore.
And that's a cornerback for you. Gave up the reception moments ago to Stratton Fuller, but then a couple plays later comes up with a big tackle.
This is looking really reminiscent of the Norwell game. They could get in the red zone but couldn't close out drives, and this is a similar situation for the Eagles right now if they can't close here.
3rd down and 8. Bradbury rolling to his right, has a man. That's Fuller, tackled right away. It's like a gain of about 2 on the play. Will be well short of the first down. Great coverage there by the Bulldogs.
I don't think I've seen anybody cover Stratton that tight man coverage in a while, but Fuller again uses his great hands to look it in, and same situation as last time, 4th down here in the red zone.
That was number 5, Chris Stewart. No, that was Dobson with the coverage. What a game Dobson's put together so far.
Coach Boer's got to be stoked about Dobson in there. Number 19, he's just all over the field.
And Coach Fox has already taken 1 timeout in this game. Will take his 2nd. So, folks, today's game is brought to you by Big Eye Fish. Big Eye Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment. Kelly Automotive, celebrating their 71st year in business. Shop all 14 of their brands at drivekelly.com. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They will help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more at Tom Steele Tire. Ottenwiller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process. From bid to build, visit OttenwillerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 to 18. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. So 8:12 left to play. 6-0 is your score. Bulldogs on top.
And the Eagles have done what they want to accomplish in this game in grinding clock and possessing the football, but that 1 turnover cost them. You've got to come away with points here.
Bradbury under center on 4th down, looking for the lob into the end zone for Fuller. And does he make the one-hand grab? That's it. That's a touchdown. And that is a highlight reel play. Holy cow, we're tied at 6.
You do not need the pass interference if you one-hand that thing in on a fingertip football. Incredible catch. And now if the Eagles can put this PAT in, they're going to go up by a point.
Unbelievable grab there by Stratton Fuller, and that's the Stratton Fuller that you know and love, Jake Smith?
Just a generational guy. You know, Columbia City hasn't had a player like that at that position since Jared Murphy, who ended up going to Miami of Ohio and had a little drink of water, drink of coffee, if you will, with the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. You'd love to see Stratton do something like that in his career.
Landon Urban, the kicker, has hit 28 of 32 on the season, make that number 29 as the Eagles take the lead 7-6.
And that right there was just bigger than the 7 points will show, to be able to go down there and get points on the board on a long sustained drive after you just had your back against a wall on a fumble recovery there. That's huge for the Eagles, and you can just tell the body language, the movement of New Haven has changed a little bit, and that's what you want if you're the Eagles.
Jake, I got to slow-mo this a little bit because the ease with the one-hand, left-hand grab as he's fallen to the turf right there, I mean, he made that look so routine, like there was never a doubt in his mind that he was going to come down with it.
The Dre Muhammad effect. You get some guys around with him, man, and that's the best wide receiver coach in the area by far. Heavily esteemed, and, man, just a great drive for the Eagles, capped off with what they needed on a 4th down, and we've got a ball game. This is going to be another instant classic, Jeff.
And you see Trey Bates over there awaiting the kickoff at the 2-yard line. The up man ahead of him is number 17, Jamarcus Turner.
I love this more than anything, seeing New Haven line up heavy-fronted in case an onside comes this year. They're ready for it. Special teams heavily improved for the Bulldogs this year.
Urban with the kickoff has 14 touchbacks on the season. This one's going to be fielded at the 11-yard line. Bates looking to go inside, now cuts it out wide. We have a flag on the play. They're going to call a block in the back on Mylan Graham. He's got his hands up like, what did I do? Pat Reith on the camera is going to show you what the ref has for us.
There's a flag down.
Yeah, things like the PATs, it seems silly, but, man, those can really bite you as the game wears on.
Yeah, it's very incredible, the amount of high-level kicking and punters that we have in this area. And it's almost a necessary, a very big need anymore to have somebody like that can maybe get you a field goal with inside of 30 to 35 yards to close a game out, or at least to cover your PATs, 80, 90% of the time.
And you saw it. Domingo Flores was just sick to his stomach after missing that first PAT, just his second miss on the season. He's normally automatic, which is something New Haven has not had for many years. So Williams, 1st and 10 at his own 11-yard line. Going to hand it off to Bates. Bates doing a good job riding his riding the back of his blockers there with the counter. Big gain of about 7 on the play.
Yeah, Bates is just so – I always wonder if his numbers got updated this year because they're saying he's only going 5'9", 160. It seems like he's more in that 170, 175 range to me, but, man, he's so elusive on those inside zone runs, and the way that they hand that ball off out of the pistol, he's got great vision to come downhill.
3rd best squat on the team at 550 pounds behind Mason, Noak, and McGrann.
You're kidding me.
Bates, once again, that time right at the 1st down marker. Looks like he's going to be nope, they're going to call for it. 1st down. He knew where the sticks was, the line to get, and got it.
Gosh, for your small running back to be squatting 2.5 to 3 times his body weight, that'll get you fired up in the offseason.
Yeah, when Coach Boer said that, I had to stop. No, what?
Yeah,
he's got the 3rd best squat on the team.
That's phenomenal.
7-12 and counting. Columbia City with a 1-point lead. Williams out of the pistol. Donovan going to keep it himself on the play action, rolling to his right, looking for a man, nowhere to go, and he is swallowed up. What a play by number 40, Garrett Shepard.
Garrett Shepard, 6'4", 215. What a way to get to the quarterback in a full-on attack. His buddy stood him up, and I think Donovan's got to take a play off for the helmet coming off maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shepard looked like an absolute monster out there because Williams, after the play action, has Noak right in front of him. Noak picked up the blocker to the middle. Shepard came to the left, and nowhere to go for Williams. So they got Johnny Washington out of the Wildcat here. Graham on the bottom of your screen. Swing pass goes to Bates. Bates nowhere to go as he's bottled up be tackled about the 13-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 2 on the play.
Wow, Columbia City could not have defended that any better. Rallied the troops, got to the flats, and didn't fall for the trickery right there. You know, you had to put a Johnny in for the one play off for the helmet coming off of Donovan, but didn't let anything go up the middle. Great defensive battle we have right now in this game.
Boy, and that's one of the crazy things with this New Haven team. You got Donovan Williams at quarterback, but at any moment you can put Mylan Graham back there or a Johnny Washington. 3rd down and 19 forever for the Bulldogs. Looking deep is Williams, and a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're going to call pass interference on Stratton Fuller. I would like to take another look at it there as Mylan Graham had something working on the sideline. Ran right into Stratton Fuller. Wasn't sure if it was incidental contact, Jake, in real time. Yeah, that's just kind of ran right in front of him.
Yep, absolutely. A little unfortunate there, but honestly, if Mylan would have got that edge and got the streak going, it may have been the best thing to happen.
That's probably the best PI that Brett Fox will get all season long against his team.
You are absolutely right.
So 5:32. Bulldogs, who opened this game kicking off to Columbia City. Remember, Columbia City marched down the field, could not get a score, but did take 8 minutes off the clock. Jake, which was impressive in itself. So it's 3rd down and 5 after the pass interference, after the 3rd and 19. Handoff goes to Bates. Bates has blockers. Up the gut, Bates 45 to the 50, over to the Columbia City 47-yard line. Huge gain on the play of 39 yards.
Well, that's a 3-time squatter right there. Look at how he runs the ball. He needed a 1-step cut, and then he saw that tunnel, followed his blockers really well, and just an elusive running back.
When Bates makes up his mind, he's got that low center of gravity. He's got the speed and the strength to go with it. Bates, what a run. So now it's 1st down and 10 from the Columbia City 48-yard line. Graham lined up in the backfield with Williams. Williams hands it off to Mylan. Mylan weaving his way through traffic. He's going to be stood up after a 10-yard gain, still on his feet. That will be a new set of downs for the Bulldogs.
Gosh, you love a chirpy battle right there. Just the Eagles defense versus Mylan, just face-to-face, full-on tackles. He's trying to evade, and the battle goes on until somebody goes down. Unfortunately, Mylan was a little banged up on the play.
Mylan's so silky smooth there in traffic. As he stopped after the 10-yard gain, stayed on his feet. Graham came off and looks like he's going to get worked on the bench. Not sure if some of his tape got loose. But it brings up 2nd down and 1. Miscommunication. Williams going to keep it himself. Broken play.
No.
Williams goes out wide. He could from 39 yards out. Is that a touchdown? No. Pushed out at the 11-yard line.
Oh, that's so unfortunate for the Eagles. Sam Bean was in there, number 54, but his back was turned, so he couldn't open his arm up to make the tackle. And he was Donovan ran right behind him. Totally unfortunate.
So a broken play ends up being a gain of 28 yards for the Bulldogs. Look at the speed there of Donovan Williams. Nice blocking downfield by a Johnny Washington, and he nearly pirouettes his way into the end zone for 6.
Man, he's got a great stride when he gets out there. He's a racehorse.
He really does. 1st and 10 now from the 11. Bulldogs looking for their 2nd touchdown of the game. Their first one was a 9-yard plunder by Trey Bates. Bates, Williams rolling to his right, looking in the end zone. He's going to tuck it at the 10 and walk out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, credit to the Eagles there for really closing that thing down, because when he runs up to the line of scrimmage, it really will draw those defenders down, and everybody stayed home. They did their jobs in pass coverage, and linebackers and linemen were able to come down and get him to the sideline.
Yeah, that time it was Chris Stewart in the backfield for New Haven. Entering in the game is going to be Jamarcus Turner, junior wide receiver at 6'1", 145. Pistol alignment with Bates, 2nd and 8 from the 9. Bates nowhere to go.
Oh, man, stood him up big time. 51, Noah McDivitt comes in there.
Yeah, Noah McDivitt doing what he does. Man, what a season he's put together so far for the Eagles. A team-high 35 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks on the season. Blew that play up. 3rd down and 9 now from the 10-yard line. 3:30 on the clock here in the second quarter. Out of the pistol, fakes the handoff, and Milan looks like he's still hobbling a little bit on that right ankle.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because the RPO, Stratton Fuller read it well, but I think if Milan's got a good ankle to push off of, I think he could get the step there. Man, I hate seeing him hobble like that.
Boy, he was blanketed on the play. Well, this would be a good opportunity to maybe get James Hardy involved. Hardy with 2 touchdowns a week ago in that win over Norwell. 4 catches for 102 yards. Season high. So it's 4th down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Williams rolling out to his right, looking in the end zone. Nowhere to go. He's got pressure and gets rid of it at the last second. Turnover on downs for the Eagles.
What a stand right there by the Eagles. I mean, that was just 11 defensive dudes playing assignment football. They congested every lane. Coverage was there. Very nicely done.
Jake, this kind of reminds me of the Wayne game last year in the sectionals when Columbia City got the ball back in the 4th quarter. I think there was maybe 2 minutes to go. They marched down the field and score. Do they have it in them here before the half to put 6 more on the board?
I think, yeah, very reminiscent to the Wayne game. And I'm not 100% sure there, not being able to see the down and distance from my angle, but, man, I think Donovan got to be careful there tossing that football forward. You almost could have got an intentional grounding.
3:16, Bradbury hands it off to Schroff, met by Corin Harris, Chris Stewart, and a host of Bulldogs.
And for Columbia City, this is exactly where you want to be. You're in this ball game, darn near tied. You're up by a point. 3 minutes left, and I think you've got a timeout or 2. I think 1. This is very, very much like the Wayne game. Can they go down and get points here and go into half?
And if you're New Haven, you hope that Milan Graham can get back to 100%. Bradbury hands it off to Getz. Getz walled off, cuts it up the middle. Look at that burst by Getz all the way to the 22-yard line.
He's such a pesky runner. They had him congested right there, and he's such a small guy. He finds a crease, and you can just tell Hardy's just getting frustrated. Hardy's where he needs to be, scraping down the line every play, and it's getting 4, 5, 6-yard gains every touch.
Keep contained, and Getz still cuts it up for a big gainer. Brings up 3rd down and 1. Bradbury to Schroff. Schroff's got the edge in a 1st down. Dragging tackler is going to be wrestled down at about the 28-yard line.
And this is the Eagle offense right now, just moving the chains, grinding clock. They're going to start to force New Haven to try to use those timeouts if they get in a down and distance situation where it makes sense. Don't fall asleep, New Haven secondary, because there's going to be a deep shot coming.
Clock is counting, 2:04. 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Bradbury drops back, looking to his left, throwing it up deep for Fuller. Dobson with the coverage, and pass interference going to be called on the play.
That's a little bit of a LeBron James sell right there. I think he sold that contact pretty well.
Well, it's definitely contact down the field. You felt like it was by both guys there, Jake Smith. It's a 50-50 ball when it's in the air.
I thought that was clean hand battle, but, we've got IHSA officials with a lot better angle than me, so we're going to trust their judgment, and here we go, 1:54, and the Eagles are right back to midfield.
You got a pretty good angle up there. 1st down and 10. Schroff once again lined up behind Bradbury. Going to take the handoff, hit right away, but falls forward for a gain of 3.
Just a big dive play right there. Opens his hips. Bradbury sticks it right in his gut and pounds the ball. And these are ways that you're going to start to grind down that defensive line. You can start to tire them out going into the second half.
Charles McGrant with the tackle, 6'2", 275, just a junior. Bradbury this time to Pletcher, bobbled it for a second, regains and falls forward to about the 50-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play.
New Haven's done a good job in the trenches, and you love seeing them running some big guys two ways to try to congest this, almost a full 5-man front. They've got the box loaded.
Bradbury rolling out to his right. Throws it in the direction of Fuller, about 2 yards short.
That's a big, big down for New Haven's defense right there. Fuller was in the area. Bradbury couldn't get the foot to plant his foot to really throw the ball.
And it looks like I'm going to go with holding on Columbia City. Push him back 5 yards, back to the 45. There's New Haven. 10 yards. Back to the 40-yard line. 3rd and 14 now for Columbia City. And referees are going to take a timeout to talk this one through. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. Jolly Law Firm, are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you? Whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for convenience and flexibility. Most degrees can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu. Specialists in design, build, mechanical, and refrigeration. Visit tjwindustrial.com. Earn your edge this season. PSM's Edge Training Program, as we have a timeout there by Columbia City, maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you to the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. Jake, it's a great program over there at Parkview, the Edge program. You sign up for a year, you can go to as many classes as you want during the week.
Oh, you got to love that. Yeah, it's a great program they get over there. Top-class facilities, obviously. It looks like maybe, Jeff, they declined the penalty to take the 4th down, and that was where the confusion had set in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Coach Boer there brought it to the attention of the ref here on the sideline.
Yeah, and I would agree with Coach Boer's call there. To me, it's like
100%.
At midfield, I'm going to try to make them punt, and if they do decide to go for it on a 4th and 5, 4th and 6 scenario, and you stuff them with a minute to go in this offense, you're in business.
With big play Stratton Fuller, you kind of like your chances there on 3rd and 14 rather than 4th and 5. So 4th down and 5, and they will go for it, looking to draw New Haven offsides. Remember, Columbia City now out of timeouts. Bradbury, cool, under center with 1:06 remaining here in the first half. Chris Stewart showing blitz. We have 4 seconds on the play clock, and they're going to take this penalty and punt it, Jake.
Absolutely. Yep, smart move there. Veteran coaching. Everybody on the sideline on the same page there. Try to get him to jump. Good job by the Bulldogs to not encroach that time and get into that neutral zone, and Columbia City gets a little bit more depth for a punt.
Holy smokes. Leo up 27-0. 5:23 left in the second quarter. Southside up 6-0. 28-0. Bishop Dwenger over Northrop. Woodland 7-0 over Jay County. And how about this? 24-14 Bishop Lures over Northside.
Oh my goodness.
Hate to say I called that one, but I called that one, buddy.
You absolutely called that one. And for all you folks out there that want to tune into an awesome podcast on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., the Sideline Swami, Jeff Mahoney from Summit City Sports, and occasionally myself. You're on the Fort podcast, highlighting Northeast Indiana high school football from the 260, all the great players, coaches, area news, scores, and highlights. We have a lot of fun in the Swami's basement.
Yeah, Jake, and you've only missed one show, I believe.
I think I have only missed one show. It's a blast, man.
So back deep will be Bates. And that's Stratton Fuller with a left-footed punt. And, wow, there's contact back there.
Oh, my goodness.
That was Corin Harris. Did he get a hand on it?
That was insane for that may be, if Columbia City wins, the play of the game better than the one-hander. To rugby kick that and get it away and to almost recover the football when a New Haven return man got hit in the back of the leg with it. That was a wild series of events.
Yeah, high snap there. Fuller did a great job of bringing it down, showing you his great hands there. And then kind of like a karate kick there from the side to stay away from Harris's block.
Absolutely. Coach Fox is upset with the way that went down.
Well, Harris, there was contact. If he didn't get a foot on it, then would it be roughing the punter?
Ooh. Very good point, Jeff. It's a really tough call to make.
Yeah, if he didn't get a hand on the ball, but nonetheless, it's 1st down and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Dangerous Donovan Williams out of the shotgun, a pistol alignment. Rolling to his right, has pressure and has a man. That's a Johnny Washington on the sideline. Look at the toe-tapping catch by Washington at the 43.
Washington is just such a value that he came over from Concordia. He's a big-bodied dude that can always ride that sideline. And just like that, he drove his defender off of him with his footwork and came back to the ball. And 5 seconds is all that took for them to gain a 1st down.
And you can see Milan now with the black tape over his red cleats there. So his ankles are taped up in this one. 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Williams looked in Milan's direction, then the quick hitter over to a Johnny Washington. Big gain on the play and takes you into Columbia City territory at the 49-yard line. It's gain of 8.
You see a lot of contact against number 3, Milan Graham, by this Eagles defense, and opposite, a lot of contact on 43, Stratton Fuller. They understand these are the dudes on the field, and they are chipping and putting bodies on them within whatever they can within the rule book.
2nd down and 2 from the 49-yard line. Williams looking to his left, going deep, looking for Hardy. There's contact and no flag as he was being tied up by number 13, who was in battle for the starting quarterback position. But 13 is that Zach Berry?
Zach Berry, yeah, ended up going into backer. Man, he absolutely great kid for the program. But, man, you hate to see Milan banged up. When you're in a game like this, you want to see Stratton Fuller and Milan Graham on the field for the length of it.
100%, and he is not too happy as he's going to take a seat on the bench. 3rd down and 2. Williams has a man locked on Hardy. Hardy makes the catch, falls forward for the 1st down. That's big James Hardy. Great job of using his body to shield the defender, get the edge, and just fall forward for that 1st down, Jake.
You're right, and you've been singing his praises for a couple of years now, and I'm glad to finally see some colleges taking attention because that's a guy right there that you want on your football team.
1st and 10 now from the CC 46-yard line. Williams looked off the safety and double coverage in the area of a Johnny Washington. You know, with James Hardy, he's always had the size, but you feel like he's kind of a late bloomer, had to grow into his body. I think his best years are ahead of him.
I do too. Somebody's going to get an absolute value with him, and the bigger offers are going to start coming in. But the great thing about this kid that we talk about so much, he's got a 4.3 GPA.
Yeah.
He's an absolute genius, just a great kid all around.
Him and Mason Noak, two of the smartest kids in that class. 22 seconds remaining for Williams. Donovan has a man, and that's going to be picked off.
Oh, no.
That's number 30 for Columbia City being chased down by Hardy, and he'll be ripped down from behind by a Johnny Washington. Interception on the play.
Maybe Gavin Smith, Jeff?
Definitely number 30. I'm sorry, buddy. I can't see it.
Yeah, it is. It is Gavin Smith. That's a great name on the Columbia City side. And, man, you've got 10 seconds to go, no timeouts. and Milan injured on the sideline, and a Johnny looking a little banged up too. Do you take a shot here?
Well, 9.9 seconds remaining.
And this is one of the times that the haters of the three-man front will be silenced, because this is where you can get that three-man front pressure and drop everybody else in shell if they decide to take a shot.
Boy, they got Dobson off the field as well. Bradbury being pressured.
Oh, man.
Throws it up, and that's going to be picked off. That's Trey Bates. Bates running the other direction with it. Columbia City gets back. That was James Getz along with...
you can't do that.
That's the kind of stuff that they're just going to have to clean up here if they want to win this game. Columbia City is getting under the skin of the Bulldogs, only up by 1. New Haven will get the ball to start the third quarter. Folks, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back with more from John H. Young Stadium. Columbia City leads it at the half, 7-6. Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
Here.
I belong here.
Performing at various competitions and home football games. The band's next competition will be tomorrow at Carroll High School at 2:44 p.m. Drum major Sam Bandor and Chloe Zibbert, is your band ready? You may take the field in performance. Thank you.
doesn't want to be that old. Fitzy had to go to the bathroom. That was Fitzy. He had to go to the bathroom. He'll never get back up there. No. Unless it's too many people. I've seen it done. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Haven High School Marching Bulldog Band. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to present to you our 2023 New Haven High School Homecoming Court.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
Here.
I belong here.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, I mean, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, I mean, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further. In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Jim Rath's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November in addition to the club training he was doing because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
In 4 years, this could be you.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Welcome back, everybody, to John H. Young Stadium. We are at the half here, and it's Columbia City leading at 7-6 as the Eagles are getting ready to come out on the field here. Just got done with the halftime festivities, so a lot of the football players just now getting to the locker room. James Hardy among those. And your homecoming king is none other than number 5, Chris Stewart.
Yes, congrats, Chris.
Absolutely. Probably the nastiest football player, but a king.
Absolutely.
So we love it.
That's what you want. You want a guy that can dress up in a suit and tie if needed, and also just spray some guts at linebacker if he needs to all over the field, Jeff.
And he's been doing it.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of these halftime stats, Jake. First downs, 10 for New Haven, 12 for Columbia City. New Haven, 13 rushes for 94 yards, 24 rushes, just 69 yards for the Eagles. That one surprises me a little bit.
That is surprising.
Average yards per rush, 2.9 for Columbia City, 7.2 for New Haven. You had a big run by Trey Bates, that big run down the sideline for Donovan Williams. Neither one of those, though, actually resulting in points for New Haven. Passes, Williams, 5 of 13 with an interception. Bradbury, 4 of 10 with an interception. Total plays, 27 for New Haven for 155 yards, 34 for Columbia City, 116 yards. Average yards per play, 5.7 for the Bulldogs, 3.4 for Columbia City. Columbia City with two turnovers, New Haven with 1. third down conversions, 3 of 6 for New Haven, 4 of 10 for Columbia City. Columbia City, check this out, 3 of 4 fourth down conversions.
That is a telltale sign right there, and one of those was a touchdown strike. So, man, that is one of the keys to the game for sure, Jeff. You know, ball possession in this game critical, turnover margin, and the big question coming back after the halftime festivities is Mylan Graham going to be okay to go the second half?
Yeah, that's 100% Jake Smith. What do you think about that score from over there at Concordia, where Southside's up 21-0 over the Cadets? How about Coach Andre Crawford and the Archers?
Coach Andre is the man, and really thought that they had one slip away week one.
Yes.
Against a Marion team that they had 3 quarters, and I think youth got the best of them. But if Southside wins against Concordia, that's my vote for team of the week, for win of the week. I know some others may disagree, but if the sideline Swami and his crystal balls are out there in airspace listening, that's my vote, brother. That's a gutty effort by Coach Andre Goodwill and his group, and man, nothing but the best. And against another great coach in Coach Tim Manigal at Concordia. I mean, that's 2 very storied franchises. We'd love to see them both, on the come up again.
100%. And not too surprised with a lot of these scores here. Dwenger up big over Northrop. Looks like Eastside up on the Heights, Prairie Heights, 49-6. DeKalb 49-7 over Huntington North. That one a little bit surprising to me, Jake.
I thought that game would be a little bit closer, and since they're both spread offenses and similar, more of a 3-5 type defensive look, I'm going to watch that tape this week. I want to see what that looks like.
Bluffton up 42-0 over Southern Wells. How about that season for Coach Kunkel?
You've got to be pumped with that. I love the offense they run. Really, he mixes up some packages that I like out of the pistol full house, but they just run the living snot out of the football, and they do it really well.
Looks like the Chargers up 14-7 over Wayne. They're at the half.
Did you just say 14-7 is that score for Carroll?
Yeah, 14-7.
Wow, Wayne is in it, man.
And South Adams down 28-0 against Adams Central. Man, the Flying Jets. Are they just beastly or what?
How can you just continue and continue and continue year after year to reload, and the expectation is that they're going to make a run to the Dome?
Yeah, no doubt, but they'll probably have to see Indy Lutheran again. I mean, how is Indy Lutheran still in 1A? Can someone answer me that?
I am so just confused. And I know the IHSA has their rules and guidelines, and I'm sure it's all thought out and stuff, but, man, some of this stuff just – how can you win multiple back-to-back state titles and yet we're still a single-A program? I don't get it.
We're going to keep the lights off here, so I'm going to have a hard time seeing anything again. We'll put the flashlight on. How'd that be, Jake?
I like it.
Jake, what a great catch there by Stratton Fuller for that touchdown, making the tough just look so dang easy. We're going to take another look at it here on the Traction AP replay. Bradbury just lofts it up, and why not? Look at the one-hand catch there. And what's most impressive about that, Jake, is that when he hits the turf, his hand hits the turf, and he still holds on to it. He's got to have big hands.
It's just great grip strength and hand-eye coordination. I mean, they work so hard. His father being Coach Lewis Fuller, the wide receivers coach, and he had a great career at St. Francis himself and at Columbia City, so...
And we're off. Landon Urban with the kickoff. Stumbling, but returned at the 6-yard line. Cutting it out wide for the Bulldogs. As that was a great tackle there by Barry. Looks like that's number 19, Dobson. What a great first half he had, Calvin Dobson.
I mean, for a sophomore, just coming out and showing out. And as I watched more tape this week, the Norwell game, the DeKalb game, he's getting more and more looks, and now he's basically in a starting spot and well-earned all over the field, sure-handed, great tackling all over, great vision, great awareness. You love to see that out of a sophomore.
Brings up first down and 10. Williams back out there. Mylan on the bottom of your screen. Handoff goes to Bates. Bates hopping through the offensive line. Big gain. About 8-7 on the play.
Now, one thing I'm watching out here that I love Coach Clark, or the defensive coordinator of Columbia City, is doing. He's stacking corners or stacking safety over corner in certain scenarios, and what that's doing is confusing Donovan a little bit on who his first read is. I've seen him do it two sides to our boundary. Now they've spread it out a little bit, but I'm keeping an eye on that.
Four-man front here for Columbia City. That's Shepard on the bottom at the defensive end spot. Nice job. Following his blockers. Trey Bates breaks it open over the 45 down to about the 48-yard line. Gain of 20 yards on the play. Check out the burst here by Trey Bates.
Gosh, you just love it, Jeff. I mean, if I'm on the New Haven sideline right there, I am doing cartwheels for that play. He's a one-step cut runner. And boom, look at this right here. Inside cut. Columbia City's there to make the tackle, and he just stone-cold freezes that kid with a one-step cut, and he's off to the races.
Going to bring up first down and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Update 22-14 Woodland on top of Jay County. Williams. This is one of those situations, Jake, where he can see the defensive lineman and make that adjust. And that ball is going to skip. It was a forward pass intended for Johnny Washington. You don't see that very often.
It's Milan's trying to come onto the field. He's still banged up. And right there is that last look that I was just talking about. They had the corner with the safety help over the top stacked up, and they're forcing Donovan to look for his second read, and that processing time is getting Columbia City a little bit more pass rush.
10:37 left to play here in the third. Second down and 10 for Williams. Going to keep it himself on the read option. Has the corner and more. 35 to the 30. Taken down at the 28-yard line. A gain of, what do we got there? 23 on the play.
If Landon Fazio was not out there to wrap up his legs, he was gone. And I love that play call right there. If you run that thing back, Jeff, they send two pullers. There's a pulling guard and a pulling tackle that come down, and he backside reverses out. Quarterback run. Great design. And when your linebackers are reading and reacting off of those pullers, that's a perfect play call right there.
Brings up first down and 10 now from the Eagles' 29-yard line. Williams, once again, play action, rolling out to his right, has a man, and it's caught. That's number 17 for New Haven, Jamarcus Turner.
And Turner's been okay for him, too. He's a sure-handed guy. But right there, New Haven is showing that they have made some halftime adjustments. There was a great backside block right there in this play where the defender was actually passed off. He was stood up at the line of scrimmage, made the connection, and as he came around the outside, I think it might have been Bates that stepped down and blocked him as well, so he was chipped twice.
Turner on the bottom of your screen. He's replaced Mylan Graham in this game so far. Second down and 1. Williams again going to keep it himself. Going to tuck it, lowers the shoulder, and it's a fumble.
Eagles
Columbia
football.
City has it at the 10.
Whoever came down right there was at 53. I didn't get a number. Laid the wood. If that had to be Landon Tim, just an absolute monster.
That was Landon Tim that recovered it. We're going to take another look on the Traction AP replay, but this is a huge, huge turnover here for the Bulldogs. Once again on the read option, Williams doing a great job showing off the quicks there, and that was a hit by, was it number 22, came up with the stick.
He installed Jeff. Absolute beast. Wow. Defensive back for the Eagles. This is a huge momentum swing here.
So Bradbury's got it first and 10 from his own 10-yard line. The handoff goes to Pletcher, wide left. And nice gain on the play of about 4 yards will bring up second and 6.
I like the play call there, and well defended by New Haven. You want to continue to stretch those plays out, but Coach Fox and company over there, they're trying to play chess here, not checkers, and they're bouncing a mix of looks from outside run to inside run and grinding more clock as they put the pedal to the metal here in the second half.
Second down and 5 from their own 15-yard line. Getz gets it this time, cuts it up the middle. Corin Harris drags them down at the 19, gain of 4.
It's so interesting how the Eagles' dynamics of their offense has increased year to year. You know, this is now the third year of running this offense, and it's very multifaceted with different looks, and they're marrying the run to the run with different motions and looks that look the same but are a different type of play.
Third down and 1 for Bradbury. That was Pletcher in motion. What we got going on here, Jake? He's going to line back up at that right wing.
I'm lulling him to sleep and then going off one side or the other off that nose for a quarterback sneak and just take an easy first down here.
8:43 and counting. And that's a delay of game play clock over at 0.
They got a timeout, and holy smokes, that would have been an epic mistake by Columbia City, but it looks like they get the timeout off, and now they can pick what they think is the perfect play here in this down and distance situation.
Well, folks, today's game is brought to you by Big Eye Fish. Big Eye Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eye Fish. Kelly Automotive, celebrating their 71st year in business. Shop all 14 of their brands at drivekelly.com. Tom Steel Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They have auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more at Tom Steel Tire. At Automotive Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit automotivecontracting.com. And at Summit Volleyball, we train and build the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 15 to 18. Jump on board. Together, we can reach the summit. And Columbia City looks like they're going to pick up the first down there.
Just a powerful push.
That was Bradbury.
I love how Bradbury is not afraid to get physical and mix it up. He's a baseball kid, comes from a really great family. He's highly recruited in baseball, actually, so love to see him mix it up in there in the trenches with the big guys.
6'1", 170. This time, look at Getz. Hurdles the first tackler, cuts it in the middle. It's a tough gain of about 1 to 2 yards on the play by Getz.
That might be the fanciest 2-yard gain of the night right there, Jeff Mahoney.
No doubt about it, but that's the second time in this game we've seen Getz hurdle a tackler and get positive yardage.
Very athletic for his size and stature, no doubt.
Second down and 8 from their own 23-yard line. Bradbury under center. They're going to fake the first handoff, give it back to Getz. He's met by a bunch of purple shirts led by Chris Stewart, the homecoming king.
Stewart did a great job there stepping in and taking away the vacated area. He didn't get too far upfield, and they sniffed out that counter, that backside handoff, and snuffed it right out.
Yeah, Mylan Graham still on the bench in this one. I do not think he's going to get back into this game. 3rd and 7. Bradbury looking out wide. Has a man. That's Stratton Fuller.
Oh, cut step.
In between 5 Bulldogs. Cuts it outside over the 50 to the 45-yard line. Wow, Stratton Fuller weaving through traffic.
I don't know what that is. I think I hear a helicopter coming in, Jeff, dropping off some Duke and West Virginia offers tonight. I'm telling you, buddy, that kid is laying down tape. Just a selfless receiver and cornerback, playing two ways, asking for the pressure and earning every single yard tonight.
We'll get out of the replay. 1st and 10 now from the New Haven 45-yard line. Strofe with the handoff met right away. We have a flag on the play. And Jake, let's take a look back here at Stratton Fuller. Has a pocket and then just weaves through the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, for Grayson Bradbury, that's a piece of tape that you want to keep. Just a simple 3-step drop and throw on the hard slant. And great job by Fuller to pick up an extra 15 on that. But I think we may have an illegal shift here.
And it's that hard cut. Plants that foot, goes backwards, and takes off again. He's 0 to 50 real quick.
Anytime somebody can run upfield like that with reckless abandon, that's a Bob Sanders type, play offensively, but you'll love to see it.
1st and 15 from the 50-yard line after
Same
the
play.
penalty. And look at the strong hands there by Fuller. Contested on the play. I believe that was a Johnny Washington that had a hand on it.
I mean, you got to love Bradbury just slinging that ball, man. He is just, it's an infield play from 3rd to 1st right there, but luckily Fuller brings it down, and again, just so sure-handed on these plays.
Gain of 4 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 6. Pletcher in motion, hands it off to Schroff, met right away, and that'll be no gain on the play. We'll look at the previous pass here to Fuller. Bradbury just a 3-step drop, and you saw the contact by Washington, but look at the strength by Fuller.
Just an incredible catch, Jeff.
3rd and 6 now for the Eagles. Bradbury keeps it himself, rolling out right just at the feet of Schroff.
He had him, too. That was a beautiful play design. Faked the counter and ran a short guy right up out of the flats. Had him on the under route. If he could have connected right there, that would have been a monster gain, probably 15 yards or so. And instead, we're in 4th down.
Caden Schroff, 1 reception for 60 yards and a touchdown on the season. That would have been reception number 2. Goes 5'10", 195, the big running back. Listed as a fullback. It's a fullback position. Fuller back to punt it. Standing at his own 43-yard line. Good snapping on the rugby punt. Does punt it. That's going to roll through the end zone for a touchback.
Stahl was right there, but just not close enough.
Boy, with that rugby punt, I was almost thinking he was going to keep it himself and pick up the first.
He had that vision, man. I'm very surprised, but Columbia City now back on defense, and they've done a very good job so far, so I understand the chess match that we're in, play the field position game.
Be 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Washington out there at receiver along with Braden Kunberger. Williams out of the shotgun. Pistol alignment with Bates. Going to hand it off to Trey. Trey dancing in the backfield, pushing forward for a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
And that's a great job by the Eagles defense to rally down. And now New Haven has to find something else. If Mylan Graham can't come back off the field and take the top off, you've got to find something else. And James Hardy, I think, has been underused so far in this game, and I think they'll start to mix some things up to get him out of those tight end seams again like we saw earlier.
Well, Chris Stewart's going to come into the game for the Bulldogs. Hardy remains at the right tight end position. Kungberger at the bottom of your screen. Here on 2nd and 7 from their own 23-yard line. Williams this time gives it off to Stewart. And nowhere to go. Gain of 0 on the play.
Yeah, you've got to hand it to the Eagles. I mean, they're just rallying to the football. I mean, every tackle, there's 3-4 guys piled up. And New Haven's going to have to find a way to lull them to sleep inside and then get back out, whether it's a design run to Donovan or look for Hardy or one of these other receivers out here in the flats.
We got trips to the bottom of your screen now. In the slot is number 17, Jamarcus Turner. Here on 3rd down and 5. Stewart remains in. Williams going to take it off himself as a lead blocker in Stewart. Pickup of about 3 yards, but going to be well short of the 1st down.
Similar play call to the first half there. They show trips to one side, overload one side, and then run Donovan backside, and luckily for Columbia City, they were ready for it that time.
So they're going to have to punt it is New Haven, and their punter is on the sideline right now, Mylan Graham. So coming out to punt is going to be number 50, Jared Suarez, an offensive lineman at 6 foot, 200 pounds.
I'm hoping he booms this thing. We want to see a lineman send one 70 yards down the field, Jeff.
Well, Stratton Fuller standing at his own 40-yard line. He's looking to do a little boom himself. Suarez, the left-footed kick, and it's not bad at all. Fuller going to get away from it. Takes a bulldog bounce all the way to the 16, 15-yard line. How about Jared Suarez?
This is why you've got to get linemen more involved in special teams, Jeff. Why not get these big hogs down there punting the football around?
I'll tell you, he got a hold of that one, and it was a good kick even without the bounce, but you're at, what, the 20, was it the 23-yard line there?
I feel like you literally just flipped the field. I mean, he
flipped the field.
Wonderful punt.
Yeah, I think it was at the 27-yard line, so that's 33. Tack on another 30. 53, what is that, about a 58-yard punt?
I'm thinking so, definitely 55 plus.
Here on 1st and 10. Give it to the fullback. Strofe, a tough runner here. And this is one of those games where you kind of feel like Coach Fox and that style, just keep on giving it to his fullback a couple of times a series, is going to start wearing down this defensive front seven.
I agree, Jeff. I think that's the game plan. Just keep gutting them out and seeing how it looks in the fourth quarter.
2nd down and 6. Hand off to Pletcher. Pletcher, nice stop by Hoffer.
Holy smokes, what a read right there by the defense.
Hoffer got their second.
Stop at number 34, Alex Hoffer.
Getting there first. I think that was Connor Clark, number 66.
Man, that did not go the Eagles' way. Great play design, but New Haven sniffs it out, scrapes down, and blows it up.
Hey, Clark's had a nice game, hadn't he?
Absolutely.
Bradbury drops back, and he's pressured, evades the first tackler and the second, and that's Corin Harris who gets him down for the sack. Big number 22.
It was a matter of time until Harris got home on one. 6'1", 200-pound senior, and he runs lightning fast, shot out of a bottle. Great for Bradbury not to give the ball up there, but at the same time, great defensive stand for New Haven and should get the ball back in great field position. So the field position game here, the chess match, continues, and New Haven could capitalize here.
Jamarcus Turner standing at the Eagles' 46-yard line awaiting the Stratton Fuller punt. You absolutely must be aware of the fake. Line driver, and that's going to roll a nice Columbia City roll to the 46.
I tell you, Jeff, this game is not necessarily going how I expected.
No.
I thought it'd be close. We know the Eagles are going to run the ball and maintain, possession and the clock. But Milan does change things, but I did not expect a special teams battle of field position, and that's what we've got on our hands right now.
Yeah, and honestly, you felt like all the momentum was with Columbia City, but New Haven is hanging tough, and hats off to this New Haven defense, as we do have a new running back in there now for the Bulldogs.
Ooh, there's that RPO.
As the pass is complete to Johnny Washington. That was number 30, Nick Tompkins. Tompkins, a junior at 5'10", 175.
Yep, you wonder if their thought process is to get some fresh legs in there, try to mix it up a little bit, maybe get a different look, catch the Eagles guessing.
2nd down and 5 in a scoreless third quarter. Williams, audibling. 6 seconds on the play clock. Has a man, and that's James Hardy. Barry tackles him at the 47-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play. How about the play of number 13 today?
I tell you what, maybe a little undersized in some situations, but you're not going to find a guttier kid than number 13, Zach Barry, for the Columbia City Eagles. Been a stalwart for him in different positions, mainly a quarterback DB, but stepping in at backer and doing a heck of a job for him.
Tompkins entering today with 2 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown, has a long of 24. So he can break it, takes the handoff, good spin move, and a good job by Barry holding on there with his right hand. That's going to be a gain of just about 1. We'll bring up 4th and 2.
That is a true shoestring tackle. He probably took a lace over to his coach and said, "Coach, I didn't let him go." That was wonderful. But Hardy, man, such a big body. New Haven really mixing it up and going deep to the well with their different play calls. So it's a great fourth quarter setting it up here.
They're going to bring the beef in the game. Chris Stewart, and we got a timeout going to be called. No, that's going to do it here for the third quarter. Wow, folks, we're in for a good one here. 7-6, Columbia City on top. You're watching Indiana High School football here on Summit City Sports.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. We'll fix the scoreboard here, figure out what the heck's going on. New Haven here on 4th down and 2. Huge play, probably the biggest of the game. Empty backfield for the Bulldogs. Williams with trips to the bottom of your screen. Donovan going to take it himself. He's got the first down and then some. Breaks the tackle, falls forward to the 37-yard line.
A gutsy play call there. This is the third time they've run that same look, and that time Donovan tricks the defense. He throws about 4 guys just with that little hesitation of his step. He pretended just the tiniest little pump fake, and then boom, he's off to the races. Big first down. Move the sticks. Slugfest fourth quarter coming up. Full 10 rounds.
14-10, Wayne with a field goal, only down by 4 at Carroll.
Wow, that is probably the most surprising score of the night, Jeff.
1st and 10, empty backfield for Williams. Williams has Hardy. He's going to run it up the middle. Good pursuit there by the Eagles defense. And you saw James Hardy with that seam up the middle, or was that Chris Stewart?
Gosh. Columbia City, great pressure there. The thing is, you've got that play counter going in your head as a quarterback, that 1,000, 2 1,000, and by 3 you might be dead. But Williams can always make it happen with his feet, so kudos to the Eagles there for shutting it down.
2nd down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Trey Bates back in the game out of the pistol. Jamarcus Turner on the bottom of your screen, the lone wide receiver. Quick throw goes over to Turner. Turner one-on-one and swung out of bounds. That's close right there by Payne. The New Haven fans were wanting a hit out of bounds. That's a tough play, Jake.
Definitely. I think that was clean. It was, I understand going to the sideline and he pulled with full force, but you got to get that guy out of bounds. I mean, you got to push him to the boundary, and he did what he had to do.
100%. 3rd down and 8.
Donovan Williams is probably running to the left-hand side here.
Bates going to lead block for
mixed
him.
It up.
Rolling out to his right. Has a man, Turner, and that's complete to the 17-yard line. Jamarcus Turner with his biggest reception of the game.
Hats off, Coach Boer. That is called marrying the run to the pass. So you've got a guy up here and myself that is a play caller. That's the 4th time that they've ran that same play. And this time, instead of running Donovan left behind the trips, he rolls to the right, throws to his man with a big strike and a big first down.
Well, with Milan on the sidelines, time for Turner to make a name for himself, and he's taking advantage, Jake.
Absolutely. That was fantastic.
1st and 10 now from the Eagles' 17-yard line. Williams, read option, going to give it to Bates. Bates gets past one tackler, down to the 10. Big gain of 7 yards on the play for Trey Bates.
I tell you, just the differences in the types of running backs that you see in the Northeast 8. But, man, all of them, James Getz and Trey Bates, when you watch them run, the one thing that they have in common is being able to really tuck in behind their lead blocker. And it's almost like they're a little bit smaller guys in stature and frame, so they get lost in the shuffle. And, man, makes something out of nothing.
2nd down and 3, ball at the 10-yard line here for the Bulldogs. And once again, the handoff goes to Bates. Cuts it up the gut, gets the first down into the 5 to the 4-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play.
Whoever's calling the plays on the New Haven side, this is a fantastic drive right here. Let the Eagles start to bring forward that pressure and run towards the vacated areas. Just simple X's and O's. And right now they are moving the ball very, very well.
And with Bates, he just has that burst there, has a wall in front of him and cuts it up. 1st down and goal from the 3-yard line. New Haven looking to take back the lead for the first time since the first quarter. Fakes the handoff, and that's complete. A Johnny Washington in for the touchdown. Man. Williams to Washington.
That play is filthy. It's a high percentage play for the Bulldogs that they run over and over and over. And maybe would have rather had Milan there, but don't need him with a sure-handed guy like a Johnny. That was fantastic. And they're on the board again.
So Donovan Williams with his first touchdown passing in this game. How about a Johnny Washington picking up his 5th receiving touchdown on the season? Williams, his 13th passing touchdown. Going for 2. Rolling to his right. Nowhere to go for Donovan. Throws it off, lobs it up. And is that, oh wow, that's close, Jake.
Oh,
and they
got
it. The 2-point conversion is good.
They gave it to him.
To James Hardy.
Big-bodied guy, number 85. Goes barreling down to the goal line. What a stick right there. I don't know that they could have done any better.
Well, that is huge here for the Bulldogs. Let's take it back to the touchdown as New Haven goes up by 7. Williams fakes the handoff, has a Johnny. That's a quick hitting play, in for 6. Had to go for 2 after the missed PAT earlier in this game. And Jake, you've been calling for it. Let's go to James Hardy, and this time Williams does. Fakes the handoff once again, rolls to his right, draws all kinds of attention, makes something happen, and finds James Hardy.
Man, that was just a great series for New Haven to get the 3 and out and then drive down the field in a series of plays, a great sustained drive, and that's one that Columbia City is going to watch on film and really want back defensively because that is the key play inside the 10-yard line for New Haven. RPO, quick slant, inside slot. Nobody home that time. They defended it well at the other end zone earlier in the game, but the Eagles paid there.
And the way that this game has been going, you kind of feel like Columbia City is going to march down the field, take a lot of time off the clock, see if they can get in for 6, but New Haven could be getting the ball back tied up with 2 minutes left to play. Fuller picks that ball up at the 13-yard line over the 25 to 30. Stratton Fuller out wide to the 40, 45, 50. Big return, Stratton Fuller all the way to the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs. That is how you respond.
I tell you what, I'm guessing the folks at Big G's are probably watching this game. He's probably going to get himself some free eggs and bacon if he stops in Sunday morning. Absolutely. The kid just continues to put Columbia City on his back and just carry him. I mean, every time you need a big play, that's why they call him Showtime, man. He shows up, he shows out. Special teams, he plays 3 phases. He was manned up on Milan earlier before he was injured. You just can't ask anything more out of 43.
Beautiful return there. He's come up large in this game a number of times. Earlier, James Getz with the big kickoff return. Bradbury's going to hand it off to Schroff. Schroff riding down the line, coming up and making the stop is number 24, Hoffer. That is Aaron Hoffer for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great scrape down and tackle, and Schroff really got to put his foot down and then hammer down and go. He kind of hesitated right there, and maybe he was looking inside first, but when you're going on a stretch-style play like that, a lead play to get kind of outside, you've really got to get the motor going quick and move. These New Haven defensive ends and backers are just too good.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. Aaron Hoffer, who had the interception return for a touchdown in the big win against Leo. Bradbury going to the air, has Fuller. Wow. Look at the snag by Stratton Fuller. How many times have I said that tonight?
That's the 3rd time the 4th time they've thrown that play, and they've been successful 75% of the time. It's really pretty incredible to see them throwing such a quick hitter out of the flex bone. It's a very hybrid offense they're running.
Yeah, you got to feel like Stratton Fuller has probably the strongest hands in Northeast Indiana. The catches he's made, that one had a Johnny Washington draped on him. Looked like Washington was going to rip the ball away. Fuller wouldn't let it go. 3rd down and 1. Bradbury's got it himself.
I think he got forward progress. That's close.
It is close. No signal from the refs yet. Yeah, they're going to mark him. Oh, first down.
I was going to say, he seemed like he got the push, but I can see it going either way.
$7:19 and counting. 1st and 10 from the New Haven 35-yard line. Jake, what do you think? They're going to milk about another 3 minutes off the clock here.
Gosh, I think that's kind of their game plan right now. You don't want to leave too much time because Donovan can make things happen with his legs and arm. Oh, man.
Another tough stop there by Hoffer. That time it's Alex Hoffer.
Those Hoffers are just gritty, always driving to the ball. Both of them have great scrape technique towards the football. They rally down in just a low pad level, which is what you want in a tackle. Textbook defense right there.
Big loss of 3 on the play. Brings up 1st down and 13. You can tell Columbia City now much slower to get to the line, Jake. Bradbury looking for a man. It's Fuller on the sideline, double teamed. And wow! Interception by Washington. What a play. Busted it out wide, 25. Johnny Washington walks out at the 28-yard line. What defense there by a Johnny Washington.
Wow, what a turn of events. Great momentum shift for New Haven right there. Just a free space play, and wow.
And the 4th quarter of this game belongs to a Johnny Washington with the 3-yard touchdown reception. Backs that up with this beautiful interception. Bolt, you had 4 hands on that ball at one time, and Washington comes out with the interception. Holy cow.
That was incredible coverage, and if Bradbury could have put another 5 yards on that ball, Fuller walks in. But, man, great contest by Johnny, and looks like we got a player down, Jeff.
Player down for Columbia City. Folks, Summit Volleyball, jump on board together. We can reach the summit. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system or solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. Tell them Summit City Sports sent you. Are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you, whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated? Dave Jolly at Jolly Law Firm is your answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. Sioka's. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for convenience and flexibility. Most degrees can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu. Specialists in design, build, mechanical, and refrigeration. Visit tjwindustrial.com. Earn your edge this season. PSM's Edge program maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and to get you to the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. What a game, Jake. I'm telling you, it felt like New Haven was out of it when Graham was hurt. Their defense has stepped up large, and Donovan Williams leading the way here on offense. Hands it off to Bates. Nowhere to go. Beautiful tackle there. I believe that was McDivitt, the middle linebacker.
Yep, just really getting gutty in there. And this is kind of one of those must-have drive stops for Columbia City. Change. You know, obviously New Haven is thinking, let's grind some clock off ourselves here. But you don't want to see them get away too much from what they're used to.
Big Mason Note at left tackle here on 2nd down and 10. Pistol alignment. Washington on the bottom of your screen at the 3-yard touchdown and the big interception. Handoff. Bates Nowhere to go.
Big stick right there by the Eagles D. They're scraping down. Now this is right where you start getting lulled to sleep a little bit. And you're looking for that pass over the top, but another injured player, Javion Hagler.
And you see Washington is just gassed after that touchdown and then the interception. Kind of makes it a little bit more remarkable what Brandon Logan did last week with those 2 pick sixes just a minute and 45 seconds apart.
That was one of the most incredible stat lines I've ever seen. Baseball player / nasty safety for Snyder, and houses 2 of them. Unbelievable.
Committed to Vanderbilt to play baseball. Jamarcus Turner now to the top of your screen. Turner with a great catch on that last drive. Williams rolling out to his left. Has a man, it's Washington. And that's pass interference right there by Fuller, but none called.
Ooh.
Early contact on that play.
Yep, he got there a little bit early. I agree with you, Jeff. They're going to let him play, and
we'll take another look here at the Traction AP replay, Jake. But we've seen some battles between the DBs and the wide receivers. You remember earlier in this game, you see Stratton just got there a little bit early with the body contact. Earlier, they called it on Dobson against Stratton, and you said Stratton might have had a good acting performance there with the flop.
Right. Yep, that's just experience right there. Some of that stuff is just elite training.
So Jared Suarez in to punt it away. The left footer, good looking punt, nice hang time, gets another Bulldog bounce, rolls to the 30 all the way.
I tell you what, Jeff, what have I been so critical of the New Haven Bulldogs over the last year and a half? It's been special teams, and aside from a missed PAT earlier, their punt game and punt coverage, kick coverage, aside from one that Fuller brought back, you're pretty excited if you're the punt coverage team this week going into practice.
Good job by Malik Farrow there, making sure that none of the Eagles returned it. How about Trey there, getting every extra inch he can. That's good stuff. But nonetheless, 4:29 left to play. Plenty of time for Coach Brett Fox in this Columbia City offense. Bradbury over to Pletcher. He's got lead blockers in front of him. Can he get the edge? Cuts it up. James Hardy with the tackle. Boy, that's the longest no gain I've seen in a while. Maybe a gain of 2 on the play.
Coach Kendrick Mullen this week, when he watches this film, no matter what happens, is going to be patting his guys on the back for stringing these jet plays along. He's just been phenomenal at these calls tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and it makes you appreciate when James Getz is able to cut it up and get those quick 6 yards. Handoff this time to Schroff. Schroff gain of 8 and a first down.
A much better run that time by Schroff, and probably got talked to on the sideline from that last similar kind of belly style play or lead play there. It's like, man, you've just got to run. You've got to trust your blocker and run. Don't let it take time to set up. And the flex bone offense, you want to bang off the line quickly, and he does there.
First down and 10, 3:53 and counting. It's Schroff again. Hit and falls forward. 7-yard gain. He's got that forward momentum going. Hit by James Hardy.
Gosh, I just love the chess match between these QBs and the differences in the style of play. But Bradbury there with a great fake out for the handoff there. When you sell that fake handoff in the flex bone, you might get a guy to bite, and he does.
It's been a great game there by the junior signal caller here on 2nd and 3. Schroff evades 2 tacklers, brought down from behind, but not after a gain of 5 yards, and a new Columbia City first down.
That's a big boy run right there. He sidestepped, made himself as skinny as possible, and Columbia City's got a good momentum drive here going. There's a lot of New Haven Bulldogs getting up slow, and you've got to keep that tempo going here as the clock starts to grind away.
Schroff out of the game, Landon Fazio in. Here on 1st and 10 from the New Haven 49. Pletcher takes the handoff, has blockers in front, Big gain of about 5 to 6 yards on the play.
Yep, that's how you've got to do that. The New Haven defense is quick enough to string those plays along. The moment that you see that alley open, you've just got to cut it up and get those 5-6 yards and get back on the football. Here we go, 20 seconds to run that play. They've got to pick up the pace here, Jeff.
2:35 and counting. Pletcher, they're going to hand it off to Fazio. Fazio breaking through tackles, gets stopped just short of the first down. It's going to be about 3rd and 1. Fazio's a good-looking player on both sides of the ball here for Coach Fox.
Absolutely. A lot of those two-way guys going here, and this is where who's got the most guts. Can New Haven come in and close it down, or can Columbia City rise to the occasion? Time dwindling with 2:06 to go.
James Hardy out of the game. Chris Stewart back in for the Bulldogs. Here on 3rd down and 2.
Big stick!
Hit.
Big stick by New Haven.
Alex Hoffer gets in the backfield for the tackle for a loss. Will bring up 4th and about 2.
Gosh, Coach Mullen calling a great game defensively. Sometimes you have to take a risk and just send the boys up the gut, and he does there, and they ate that play alive.
So on 4th down, we'll take one more look at the Alex Hoffer play. Good stop. Bradbury under center. He rolls out to his right, has a man.
Oh, no!
Oh, just a little bit too much mustard on that pass, Jake.
That's a play that the junior will get better at as his career goes on. He's got to get that front foot planted to get the ball down. He sails it a little bit. And short of a miracle, that is the ball game.
Holy moly.
What a build-up.
Columbia City still with 2 timeouts left. New Haven has all of theirs. I'm telling you, this
All exits will be open.
This is almost more impressive than the Leo win here, having to battle back from that adversity for New Haven. They had to dig deep in the second half, and they found themselves, and guys stepped up in this game. One guy that comes to mind is Jamarcus Turner.
Oh, big time. Great call, Jeff. And if you're New Haven here, don't overthink it. Grind this clock. Get rid of this clock.
Donovan hands it off to Bates. Bates has blockers, and he's gone. Trey Bates, the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown! 60 yards for Trey Bates, his 2nd of the game.
Man, that is a house call. That is why you get in the squat rack, ladies and gentlemen. It is New Haven's time tonight. A fantastic effort by the Eagles, but New Haven digs deep, gets gutty. And I love how they didn't overthink it. Give it to the back, let him do his job. Great field vision, next level speed. Closed it out. House call, Jeff.
And you know what? You felt like we were talking about Columbia City continually pounding and pounding, that eventually it would break. We've seen the same stuff from this New Haven offensive line and Trey Bates. It was just a matter of time before that happened right there, which was a 60-yard burst down the sideline.
Definitely proven that he's the best running back in the NE8.
Extra point is up and good. Take another look at it here on the Traction AP replay. Jake, what'd you see?
This is just great inside zone running out of the pistol. Again, one step, Reed follows his blocker, one missed tackle, and he's gone. And right there, it doesn't matter what angle you think you have, you are not fast enough. That is track speed right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Track star, Trey Bates.
Jeff, it feels like it is New Haven's year to win the conference. It just, it feels, Columbia City had a different type of run last year. Just always those come from behind, cardiac arrest style games. And New Haven has found a way to improve on special teams. They found a way to close out fourth quarters. And that's what they struggled with last year in this senior-laden class. It's on the table for them now.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not going to be any easy win against East Noble here for the Bulldogs. The Knights are strong. Granted, they got a loss to Snyder early on in the season, then that loss to Leo. That's a good group of Knights up there in Kendallville.
It sure is, and Xander Brazel has had a much improved season this year.
It's picked up by an up man. And I tell you, Columbia City is going to have good field position here with 1:09 to play.
Yep, obviously it's one of those situations you got to go to the air, take your shots, and hope for an onside kick. And if I'm New Haven, basically I'm going to stay home with 3. I'm going to rush my 3, drop everybody else into shell coverage. And when you're in a 3-4 defense like this, it's real easy to play a cover 4. In that case, I want 3 of my defenders on Stratton Fuller.
Trey Bates, 2 touchdowns in this game. Now 7 rushing touchdowns on the season.
He is a unit, Jeff.
Well, and he hasn't played a lot of the second halves because they've been blowing teams out. Bradbury under pressure. Corrin gets him again. They're going to call face mask.
They're going to call a face mask. Man, Coach Mullen. If there's an MVP coach in this game, it is Kendrick Mullen, the defensive coordinator of New Haven, mixing up a delayed stunt, sends the blitz. It's unfortunate for a face mask because you couldn't have called a better. That you could not have had a better call sign there.
Yeah, you see Corrin Harris started at the middle, then went to the outside, and that was kind of a blind face mask as he just reached his right hand out there trying to get a hold of some jersey, get him stabilized for that sack. Either way, though, for Harris, he's been very disruptive in this game. One of the best tacklers in Northeast Indiana.
I absolutely agree. We don't have the only highfalutin game going on. Snyder Homestead going to overtime, Jeff.
What?
Overtime, 17-all, baby.
Are you kidding me?
Called it again!
Corrin Harris
again!
Again, his second sack of the game. Back to back.
Kendrick Mullen of the same thought process of an offensive coordinator calling the D. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. If it worked once, it's got to work again, right? Let his man get the sack.
That was sick. 37 seconds remaining. Harris showing blitz again. This time they take his knees out. They put 2 linemen on him.
Man, Grayson Bradbury showing off the arm strength there. Sent one deep down the field.
I don't know if you saw that, but they just rolled up Harris. Harris looked like he was going to blitz. One of the offensive linemen took out his knees. The other one put him flat on his back and stood over him.
He said, hey, man, we'll take it twice, but not a third time.
Not a third time.
Yeah. Yeah, desperation mode here for the Eagles.
Fool me 3 times, shame on me.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jeff Mahoney. Oh, what a great game this has been.
So New Haven's going to improve to 6-0 in the driver's seat in the NE8. You got to be kidding me. Tied 17, Snyder and Homestead.
Oh, backside hold there. Oh, you got to get rid of that ball.
Alex Hoffer. Why not? The way he's played this game, that's a perfect cap in New Haven. That's going to do it here from John H. Young Stadium. Wins it 21-7. Holy cow.
That's how you close out a fourth quarter right there. Game time.
Well, folks, an outstanding game here by both teams. The Bulldogs really securing this one in the fourth quarter. It was a Johnny Washington 3-yard touchdown reception, followed by a 2-point conversion by James Hardy. Moments later, Johnny Washington with the big interception, a pass intended for Stratton Fuller right around the Bulldogs' 10-yard line. And then Trey Bates caps it off with the 60-yard touchdown run. Jake, any final thoughts on this one?
Well, the Bulldogs have finally established themselves in a driver's seat position in the conference. Obviously a tough East Noble Knights team still to play. Columbia City still a lot to play for here. You know, I think Columbia City's year is next season with these younger guys coming back. Feels like it's the Bulldogs' year, but Eagles still have a lot to be proud of, and both teams should definitely show out going into the playoffs.
Well, one thing about this Columbia City team is they're going nowhere no time soon. I mean, they're going to be in it for the NE8, that top 3-4 echelon. For the longest time, it's been East Noble, Leo, and New Haven. You add Columbia City in the mix, and that makes this NE8 conference probably the best in 4A.
I agree. I really do. The 4A, I totally feel you there, Jeff. And it just, you love seeing meaningful games, especially being in the booth and being at home. And no matter which side of a fan that you're on, you don't want to see a 28, 35-point blowout. This thing came down to late in the fourth quarter and was just electric.
Well, if you had to pick a player of the game, who are you picking in this one? Wow.
Personally, I'm going with Trey Bates. I just love the way that he ran the rock today and he closed out, contributed a little bit defensively as well. Like him a lot.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it on behalf of Jake Smith. We got Pat Reith on camera.
Best in the biz.
Best in the biz, bringing you the great video. My name is Jeff Mahoney. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Some big-time college football games tomorrow. We'll see what Colorado does against Oregon, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here.
Here.
I belong here.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, SummitCitySports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further, In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with gym rats basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November in addition to the club training he was doing because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
In 4 years, this could be you.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.